to BHP After Dark.
It just got dark. I tried to start this before it got dark, but it is technically BHP After Dark.
I mean, I would say I'll have to go with a 90% rate on the amount of episodes we do after dark.
Yeah, you're right. What do we got here today?
But really, if you think about it, we only do 10% of episodes after dark because the daytime is after dark.
That's true.
This
That's
is
deep.
the dark.
That's deep. After it became dark or after it was dark? What do we got here today, Benj?
Season 1, episode 33, Strength and Honor. Eos.
Honorius. Honor Eos. Strength and Honorius.
Well, you put it in parentheses.
That's the way it was written. Benjamin, you been doing all right?
Yeah, how about you?
I've been doing great, man. Enjoyed hanging out with you recently. What did we get into this past weekend?
What did we get into this past weekend?
At Stealing Pizzas here.
Oh, yeah, that was awesome. Stealing Pizzas.
What, dude? Oh my gosh, this guy.
Forgot.
He lives such a life that he can't. We had our good buddies from the band Stealing Peaches. They claimed, they said they were going to watch this podcast all the way back to Florida. There are
Check them out, wait. Check them out right here. Scan the QR code that I put on the screen.
You can do a QR code?
And go check out their website. This is their link to their website.
Oh my gosh, you can do that?
So go check out all of this.
Oh my gosh.
And you'll see a great band.
Yeah. It was fun to welcome them to Greenwood.
Yeah.
Play a little golf with them.
Well, we only got to play like that.
Yeah, then the bottom dropped out, but you jumped on stage, played.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was great. Benja, we got a long episode today. Let's get down to it, all right?
Wait,
enough chitter
we
chatter.
have a long episode?
Well, I think we can get through it. It was a long episode that I listened to, but I think we can get through it, all right? What year do we start here, Benjo?
We're starting on year 395. So give it a second.
Right. So we talked about Theodosius the First. I guess there's going to be another Theodosius. Had reunified the Roman Empire.
He died right after that.
He did. And this would be the last time that the Roman Empire, Western and Eastern, were unified. All right. The barbarians, who for several hundred years, I want to say like maybe 600 years at this point, they had been ruling and dominating the barbarians with their organization, discipline, engineering, strength, right? Well, at some point, those people kind of become absorbed into your civilization, and they learn all the engineering and discipline and military, right?
Yeah.
So they're finally able to organize in some fashion. But in 395, Theodosius' sons, were already Augustes, second in command. Mm-hmm. And when Theodosius died, he left Arcadius, the Eastern Empire, and Honorius, the Western Empire. Honorius is who we were talking about. And again, this is the last hurrah for the Roman Empire. After that, the Roman Empire, as we know it, will not be.
The Roman Empire reached its peak, but then it fell.
And after this episode, we have a few more things in season 1, but essentially the Roman Empire is gone. That's a huge. We're going to hit a huge milestone in our podcast here.
Wait, I'm just wondering, are we gonna mention? Never mind.
No.
Never mind. I have a new I came up with a new segment, and so I'm just gonna surprise you with it.
I like the segments that you do.
In a random part of the episode, okay?
Oh, there's a whole new segment in because sometimes you do shorts.
Oh yeah, I need to do more of those.
I like those. Time. Yeah, I can't wait for the segment. Are you just gonna surprise me?
Yeah, it's gonna be
all right. Awesome. So Benjo, I told you Honorius as the Western Empire, and Britain is under control, right? But really, this was the age where the emperors and the Senate lost control. They used to have control, but now it's really military leaders,
Don't you know?
right? So
I
at least in the West.
lose control.
Well, they're going to lose control.
Yeah.
Well, they already did lose control to the military leaders, the emperors and the Senate. So Theodosius dies, but his army's still organized. He just recently beat Arbogast, Flavius, and Flavius Eugenius.
Flavius.
Yeah. And so now the military leader who's in control really is Flavius Stilicho. All right. He's the real ruler of the West, not really Honorius. He's married to Honorius's cousin, I think. So they're in the same family. And he claims that he's also in charge of Honorius and Arcadius, Theodosius' sons, who are the Caesars, because this is the rise of the military leaders. A very powerful bishop. Remember, the Christian church is really still new at this point, but a very powerful bishop named Bishop Ambrose of Milan supports Stilicho. So that's how one reason he's able to justify his power, right? And Stilicho is claiming that he is supposed to be looking over both the West and the East, right? And so Stilicho comes in, and he potentially in the year what?
396.
396. The Picts and the Scots and the Irish and the Saxons potentially revolt so much that Stilicho had to lead a relief force. Right. Don't do that.
Why not?
Because it's annoying.
Oh, I'm just trying to. I can't talk.
You can talk. I want you to talk. So Benjo, Alaric, he is the leader of the Visigoths.
And Visigoths.
Well, Alaric is the leader of the Visigoths.
I misread that.
The Visigoths will come back up. They're like a barbarian tribe that are sometimes aligned with the Romans, sometimes they're not. A little rule of thumb, Jamie tells us, is that if push came to shove and barbarians had to either fight other barbarians or Romans,
it would fight other barbarians.
No, they would fight Romans. They would unify if push came to shove. But there's some that are aligned with Romans anyway. So we don't know this what we just talked about, the Picts, the Scots, the Irish, and the Saxons. Some type of uprising, something happens in Britain, and there's problems. Jamie says that might have been the Second Pictish War that the famed historian Gildas, 6th century monk, who wrote about events leading up to and after the Saxon invasion. 6th century is what years?
All right, so we're in the 21st century. So that means 6th century would be like the 5,000.
500s.
500s.
500s, right?
I really gotta say, I'm digging your shirt right now.
You are? I'm digging yours. Although I love this shirt, but I don't know what is up with this collar, dude.
Your shirt really reminds me of like Lakeview.
It does.
Stars and
it does. The painting in there.
My shirt kind of reminds me of Arkansas.
Lakeview Elementary.
My shirt kind of reminds me of Arkansas.
It does. It does. So Benjo, Stilicho, he's married to Honorius's cousin, right? Mm-hmm. But he's also arranging the marriage of his daughter to Honorius. So like cousin marriage. Mm. Yeah, I know.
They live in Alabama.
I guess it's second cousin marriage.
Well, how'd this get down to Alabama?
How'd it get down to Alabama? Benjo. But the overarching theme really here is that this is the point where Britain And we're talking a lot about what's going on the continent. This is one of the last times we're going to be talking about things in Europe that are affecting Britain, but not necessarily
Britain.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
But we are talking about here. So, but the theme is that right now is the start.
Britain was not like a Roman priority.
That's right. They just stopped prioritizing protecting Britain, administrating Britain, even really bringing resources from Britain, which is the reason that they took over and invaded in the first place.
Yeah.
You know, which was at this point 500 years before. We've gone through that far in like recorded history there. So anyway, a lot of British troops get moved from Britain to the continent also. That's another big theme, is that there's so much going on the continent that a lot of British troops have left Britain to go fight on the continent. So we go to the year 401. Alaric, the Visigoths guy, one of the barbarians, he marches into Western Italy, basically unchallenged. Stilicho comes back eventually after he's trapped on one side of the mountains, comes back, fights him, right? And beats, Stilicho beats the Visigoths leader Alaric off. But they're still chipping away. The barbarians are still chipping away, right?
Wait. It's time for that segment.
Oh, yeah?
I call this Ink. It's just a random segment where we just jam out to Istanbul, not Constantinople.
Okay.
All right, cue the music.
Istanbul was Constantinople, now it's Istanbul, not Constantinople. Been a long
All right, that's enough.
I like this new segment.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a pretty catchy song too, right? Good stuff. So anyway, I like that. You're goofy. So Benjo, the year is what?
405. So we're in the 5th century.
That's right. We're in the 5th century. This is the first mention of Niall of 9 hostages. There's a guy named Niall of 9 hostages. He was an Irish leader.
And he began raiding the west coast of Britain.
Right, because, as I mentioned, so many troops are gone.
Wait.
I know. I had to skip. I don't know what I did.
What the heck?
I know I skipped over to here.
What the heck?
I know. It didn't make any sense. So, again, Rome is not prioritizing Britain, and they're not protecting Britain from the invasions. When somebody's not being protected, like think of like bacteria or something, if bacteria is going to get to whatever is not protected, right?
That was a little aggressive.
So Britain's not protected. They're coming from Ireland to attack, right?
Yeah.
So Stilicho, though, he sounds like Jamie at least makes it sound like Stilicho may have even wanted to protect Britain, but he just did, at this point even if they wanted to, they couldn't protect Britain. They didn't. They're falling apart. East and West, barbarians, it's a whole thing. So in 406, what year? You're supposed to give the year.
Well, yeah, but you said
I'm
it.
sorry.
But in 406, Frankish
forces.
Frankish forces.
Who were Roman Frankish
Yeah.
forces.
A soldier in Britain named Marcus, who we don't know much about.
We don't know much about him.
Named emperor, and
by
he was
soldiers.
By the British soldiers.
You remember us talking about how many times they'll just like name themselves emperor?
We've talked about this. Like, I'm the president of the United States now.
Right. Benjo, I wonder how many people claim to be Roman emperors. This many over the course of history.
Get
Get out!
Oh, that might be the strongest one I've ever gone against.
That was putting up a fight, huh?
Yeah, but Stilicho appears to have given up on Britain anyway.
Right, even though he may have wanted to.
And you know how you're talking about Marcus? He was assassinated just a little bit after he was named emperor.
Stilicho was, right. So there's a new emperor.
Wait, Stilicho was assassinated?
Stilicho was.
You made it seem like Marcus was assassinated.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Marcus was. I'm sorry, not Stilicho. Thank you, Benjo. You got to keep me in line.
Yeah, I gotta keep.
I mean, this is what my producer
I gotta
does.
keep this guy in line.
This is what he does. So, Benjo, there's another short-lived emperor. We're not even going to mention him.
So now we get to the new emperor,
Right.
named Gratian.
Well, no, he's short-lived. We're not even. You
Oh,
mentioned him.
we're not even.
I was skipping over him.
Not even talking about him. What is our next emperor? Emperor Honorius.
But he was already the emperor. Remember, he is Theodosius the first son, emperor of the West, right? Who really didn't have the power because Stilicho was the military leader with the power, right?
Wait, so who's the new emperor then?
It's not really a new emperor. They just
so nobody's an emperor.
Yeah, this short-lived one. He was assassinated too.
This is too much.
It's like you have competing claims to be emperor.
This is too much assassination.
I know it's
like
crazy.
It's like
5th century drama.
It's like you get in office and there's like a 90% chance you're gonna get assassinated.
I don't know about 90, but it's up there. It's really up there. So Benjo, Honorius right now.
He's urging people. He's urging people in the West to take up arms, and he's offering slaves freedom for fighting.
Right.
Which, I mean, it's pretty smart.
Right. So this is the last hurrah. Honorius feels Britain slipping away, right? And a lot of the West slipping away. So the year is what?
Well, what's after 6?
I skip a few years.
407.
So there's a third emperor, a British emperor, Constantine. He becomes Constantine the Third after he becomes.
Is he related to Constantine the Great?
Well, I don't think so. And we'll yes or no right here. I don't think so, but he was trying to recreate Constantine and named his sons Julian and Constans.
What is this guy?
I know.
This kind of pisses me off a little bit. It's like trying to be somebody else.
Right, yeah. I mean, pissing you off, you know?
Yeah.
And so Constantine, he takes Gaul. He comes out of Britain, takes Gaul. Stilicho becomes focused on, it sounds like almost obsessed with defeating Constantine rather than dealing with the barbarians that are he's got a lot of different problems. So we skip ahead to year 408. Oh my gosh. Come on in. Hey, is it still on? Okay. Come on in, pal. We got a special guest. We're gonna put right.
Woo! Podcast time!
Oh my gosh. This is y'all aren't ready for this type of energy right here. Am I right? Am I right, Jay? Right. Welcome to our podcast, Mr. Freddie McClendon. Benjo was in charge of when we had you on interviewing you.
Oh my goodness, I'm on the podcast. I'm very excited.
We had him on a FaceTime interview, but then we didn't get the sound, so that got messed up.
Yeah,
very true.
We tried this before. Yeah, we tried it before.
Well, I'm very excited to be here on the British History After Dark podcast.
What an honor. American Idol contestant, Belmont University student, all-around performer, Mr. Freddie McClendon.
Yeah, I don't think you could call him an American Idol contestant. I was sent home very early, but I was there. You can look it up. I was there.
Benjo, what you got to interview?
Oh, like what did I had last time?
Yeah.
Well,
or what you
I guess
had
now.
I say you just talk British history. I know so much about British history, and they in fact call me a British history expert. I'm a British history major at Belmont University, actually.
Where are you actually?
No.
False, right? Benjo edits the videos.
I'm a British history expert.
But Benjo, do you have some off the cuff interview questions? You're the interviewer.
I mean, yeah, but we couldn't hear you.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What do you know most about British history?
I think my favorite thing about British history is the islands. I think that's probably my favorite thing about it. I really like how there's 3 of them, and one of them's called Britain, and the other one's called Ireland, and the other one's called Scotland.
Well, Scotland is part of.
No,
it's an island because there's a line of a border.
It's part of Britain.
So they often call it. They often call it a border. They often call it a border because They often call it an island because there is a border there. So
Would you want to tell what the border is, Benjo?
what's the border, Benjo?
Border is actually called oh, why am I forgetting it now?
Oh, I guess I know more.
Wait, what do you think the
You
border?
have He has Italian socks on, guys.
Yeah.
Italian socks.
It's Hadrian's Wall.
Hadrian.
Not very British.
I forget that.
But look, why don't you interview Freddie about life real quick?
How's life going?
Life's good, man. Just living life. Being crazy, kind of doing my thing, trying to at least.
Dude, this here, let me go. This podcast is gonna take you to the next level.
I agree. I mean, I'm very excited. I mean, this is the exposure I've really
we
needed.
actually limit comments to one person
I
per comment.
I
because we can't
appreciate
deal
that.
with them.
I mean, I think that's important.
YouTube's threatened to ban us because
Oh,
the
really?
amount of comments we've gotten on
Well, I love that. Well, y'all need to post if y'all post on Instagram, I'll repost or like TikTok.
We do.
Y'all do? Okay, I'm reposting it. I don't follow BHP After Dark on Instagram. I follow you guys on Facebook. Not
Well,
on
you need
Instagram.
to follow us on Instagram.
I will. I didn't know there was one.
Oh, and Benjo, did I tell you? Now I'm following the BHP on Instagram.
That's good.
Yeah,
Wait, why would
they have Instagram, British History Podcast, because we're a podcast about a podcast.
That's right. It's a podcast about a podcast.
Freddie, okay, we're gonna get to it here. So the year is what, Benjo?
It's 408.
408.
All right, and so I'm sorry, we're gonna have to share this. There's a rebellion against Constantine. This is Freddie. Where we are is we're at the end of the Roman rule, and the Roman Empire is falling apart.
Okay.
Especially Western Roman Empire. Britain is been under Roman control for 500 years, and we are on the verge of everything.
So is every episode like a new year, right?
Well, not necessarily a new year.
Well,
It can be.
Like this episode started off at
Like,
like 395.
yeah. Where I am
395.
currently, you go through a year in like a year almost. It's the year's 1096. And we spent like
1096?
the whole year.
The whole year.
So far, right now, talking about 1096.
Is 1096 that crazy of a year?
Well, it's just there's more written history at that point.
Gotcha.
There's not much in the chronicle on these years.
The Chronicle hasn't actually started yet.
So Constantine, that sounds so familiar.
It is, but this is a later Constantine, not the
Gotcha.
Constantine the Great.
We've already talked about Constantine the Great.
Gotcha.
So, again, Britain is largely undefeated. This is the same theme right now because Rome is not prioritizing Britain where they had protected them before. They've taken the troops out of there. And so when the troops are gone, all these bands of tribes start attacking, right? So just to get through this quickly, Stilicho and Alaric were going to fight in the east. Stilicho changes his mind. Alaric is like, look, I showed up to fight in the east for you, and you change your mind. You need to give me 4,000 pounds of gold because I showed up here with an army.
Very aggressive there.
Well, I mean, what would you do if you showed up? I mean, you're just like, okay, I just spent all this money and time getting here. You change your mind.
I'd probably let them steal it, personally. I mean, I feel like that's the right thing to do.
Right. So Stilicho,
I'd stand my ground.
He'd stand his ground.
So Stilicho and Honorius asked the Senate for the money to pay this not blackmail, but whatever. I mean, it's not blackmail. It's like a demand. The Roman Senate approves finally. They didn't want to, but they didn't want to have to fight these people either, So they were like, all right, we got other problems. Let's pay them off. Stilicho hangs around to keep tabs on Honorius in the west a little bit. And then Emperor Arcadia, Theodosius the first son, Emperor of the East, dies. Stilicho and Honorius tried to take Honorius is Arcadia's brother. Stilicho is the general that's in charge. They try to take control of the East. Stilicho's captured by Honorius.
And he got his head chopped
and beheaded. Right. Along with all his lieutenants. Yeah. So this is a major point in history right here where the Roman Empire is falling apart. the Romans start killing all Goths after Stilicho's death. Even the ones that were fighting for him.
Are they the Goths that we think of today? Like, the Goths, the
good
black hair
question.
that complain on family vacations and stuff?
I guess that's where they get the name.
That's a good question. I feel like that's important.
Gothic.
Gothic.
I guess that's where they get it. That's a good question.
Because they're just really sad all the time?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Wonder if these Goths
Does
are
make
sad
sense.
too.
These guys might be sad.
Anyway, Alaric, the barbarian, the Goth, barbarian. We think, you hear the word barbarian, you think like caveman or something, But
why'd you go like this?
I think barbarian is like I always think with I hear barbarian, I think of someone that is ruthless.
Right.
He's he doesn't he tries to kill everybody and stuff like that.
And maybe that fit. Maybe
Gotcha.
that name fit too. That's a good question. So Alaric, he marches on Rome, demands payment, was paid. Honorius refuses to meet with him. Right.
Wait, no, never mind.
And in the year 409, in what year? I'm sorry.
409.
Alaric puts up a usurper on the throne because again, Alaric, he's a Goth. He's putting up someone to be the emperor of Rome. Last thing he wanted to do was deal with Constantine. Also, this is getting really complicated. I'm going quickly because this was a long episode, but there's a lot going on here. All right, Garentius. I don't even know who this guy was. Garentius he was the general put in charge to stop barbarians from crossing into Spain, but he didn't do his job. Constans, if you remember Constantine's son.
Yeah, because he was trying to be like Constantine.
Right, he's in charge, so he fires Garentus. Garentus didn't feel like stepping down, and so he just claimed Maximus was the emperor. What do you think about all this?
I really think that Garentus is a great guy, and I'm for him personally.
All right, I'm going to put right here. Probably, if there's horrible things that Garentius did, they're right here.
That's right. That's right. Put them all right there, and know that I probably approve of. No, I don't. Don't hold me to that.
So Constans, the Roman the Roman leader, marches on Garentius, is defeated, right? Garentius is who he just fired, who said I wasn't going to be fired.
Now the Britons fire Constantine.
Right, so Constans fires Garentius, and then Garentius beats him in battle.
Gotcha.
Okay? And then, what'd you say?
I'm not going to say it again.
I'm sorry. I talked over you, and I apologize. It's because I'm so excited. We've got our second guest here.
Very excited to be here. Am I the second guest? Who was the first guest?
Yeah, Whit Smith was the.
Whit, you know that guy?
I don't know him actually.
Yeah.
I've never known him.
I'm sorry, Benjo. What did you say?
I said the Britons fired Constantine.
Right. They were.
Is that Layla's boyfriend? That's Layla's boyfriend, right?
That's Layla's boyfriend.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Britain fired Constantine. Said, "Look, Honorius, we were sorry for declaring him emperor in the first place. We want you back." Constantine marched on Italy. He failed. He gets kicked out of Britain. He marches on Italy. He fails. What year is it now?
410.
Okay, so Honorius is still being harassed by barbarians and people claiming to be emperor. Rome has been sacked. Rome has officially been sacked by the barbarians.
So this is the end of the Roman Empire.
This is the end of the Western Roman Empire.
Did we just put this in the
But
football?
the Holy Roman Empire is next.
Well, there's a Holy Roman Empire that comes. The Eastern Roman Empire holds on for another 1,000 years. And that's when?
That happened.
No. Istanbul becomes, or Constantinople becomes Istanbul. Right?
Yeah. We already had that segment.
Istanbul today?
It's Istanbul. In the mid 1400s, the Muslims take over and kick them out of Constantinople and rename it Istanbul.
Didn't they burn all of Constantinople?
Pretty much.
There's actually
yeah.
a song by Aretha Franklin called.
It wasn't Aretha Franklin.
Oh. Who was it?
Bing Crosby was singing it.
But there's somebody else who's like, I know.
Yeah, Freddie, you would like that song.
It's called Istanbul, not Constantinople.
Yeah.
So basically, the Muslims
Istanbul,
destroyed it.
Not Constantinople.
Istanbul, Constantinople, Istanbul, Constantinople. Even old New York was once New Amsterdam.
Oh, you know it.
Da 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 da. Of course.
Oh.
I thought we were introducing you.
Yeah. Oh God, I thought we were too, Benjo. That was going to be exciting. So Rome's been sacked. Britain is in trouble. Honorius tells Britain, 410, you're on your own. Withdrew the troops that were left, and there weren't many troops there at that point. They'd already withdrawn most of them, but any troops that were left.
So Britain had kind of been on their own for years.
For about 15 years completely, almost, at this point. And then they made it official in 410.
And in 411, Constantine was executed.
Right. Y'all.
What did you think about all this history that you heard? Did you learn anything?
I feel like I learned a lot today, and I think you guys should all tune in because I feel like I know a lot more than I did before I walked in. I don't really know what I'm gonna do with this information now, but I think I do know more. You know,
you can go on Jeopardy.
That's what I'll say.
If you get that category,
if I get the category of British history on Jeopardy,
you're good.
No, why not good?
Roman British history.
Roman British history.
Yeah. At the end of the Roman Empire.
At the end of the Roman Empire. So wait, does this podcast, does it go is it like going in order?
Yes.
So will it one day maybe get to like modern day?
I am currently in the year 1096.
Do you think
it's been going on for 14 years.
Will it get to modern
14 years?
Will it get to modern history in my lifetime?
Jamie is going to have to pass it off to somebody. He's a year older than me.
Does he have a kid?
He's got a kid. I think he's a year older than me.
Maybe it's Benjo who takes it over.
Oh.
Think about that.
That would be epic.
That could be you.
We've emailed Jamie several times about the podcast.
You
have. And every time he hasn't responded, but when he has a question about his fees on the British...
my credit card expired and I needed to pay again, he responded quickly to that. I'm just kidding. We love you, Jamie.
We love you, Jamie. We don't know. So basically, Jamie has he's done this he's done this podcast for 14 years, and you have to pay to listen to it.
No, it's free, but there's members only episodes that I pay for, and I think he monetizes it somehow. I don't know, but
probably through the advertising.
But we don't do the British only episodes. I feel like if we had our
so you pay a subscription to this podcast.
Got
it.
I feel like we should collaborate with Jamie and do BHP After Dark member only episodes on BHP.
Greenwood, South Carolina. I just want to let you guys know that your taxpayer dollars are going to a subscription to the British History Podcast.
Well, hey, y'all, it's been a pleasure. This has been a long episode, but it's been worth it.
Yeah.
It's been a ton of fun. Freddie, we've been talking about having you on this podcast, so we're glad we finally did it. You want to plug anything?
I got really nothing to plug. Come to the Newberry Opera House, June 21st. Jared, I think, is going to play with us, too. He's going to open.
Nice.
It's going to be fun.
Nice.
He doesn't know that yet, so it's a secret.
This is all Freddie's information right here.
Yeah,
scan the QR code. If there is a QR code to scan, I don't know. Maybe there might not be a QR code to scan.
Can you create QR codes?
This girl from school, she might also do a little bit of an opening set there. She's pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah, she's cool.
Whoa, what just happened?
I don't know. Your phone died.
I mean, we should not treat guests to have to come back and finish.
I'm angry.
Anyway, Newberry Opera House.
I'm being held against my will.
Newberry Opera House.
June 21st, I'll be at the Newberry Opera House. You guys should buy tickets. We're going to be recording a live album called Completely Fake Stories for Legal Purposes. It's going to be really fun. And Jarrett, I think, is going to open for us a little bit. And then there's this girl from college. Her name is Kaden, and she's very beautiful. No, sorry, I can't say that.
That's not illegal.
I can't say that, but I don't want to say that. No, she's just so cool. She's awesome. She probably will never see this, but she's just like the coolest girl ever. So if she does see this, it's like incredible.
She will
she's pretty
definitely
cool.
see this. Everybody watches.
She will
this.
definitely see it. She's really awesome, and I really want her to come play this show too. So she might open too. Might do 2 openers.
You could
That'd be
cut the
crazy.
tension.
That'd be so crazy. That'd be
Cut
so
the tension with
crazy.
a knife.
It's 2 openers crazy.
2 opener
It might be
crazy.
silly. It might
Two
be
opener-
silly.
All right, hey,
It might be silly.
check Freddie out here, right?
There's QR code.
QR
maybe?
code.
Maybe there's not.
You're the second guest behind Wit. We talked about that.
Thank you very much.
You know Wit. Anyway, it's been a pleasure. Why am I shaking your
been a
hand?
pleasure.
I meant to shake
It's been a
his hand.
pleasure. And next time on what? Say it together. The British History Podcast After Dark.
BHP After Dark.
That's right.
I've been B.
I've been Joe.
And I've been Freddie.
Don't believe